Good afternoon. Here is the national news from VGI TV, Babagagede Imo TV. I am Rrør Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the national news. No silver bullets to reform health care, says Osinbajo. With Amotekun's success, Nigeria must decentralize security architecture, Akeredolu. National Population Commission promises Nigeria's credible census. Still on the headlines, Rrør calls for arrest over alleged 206 billion naira budget pattern, Nigeria. Zamfara State residents pay bandit 20 million naira to avoid attacks. Finally on sports, Brazil beats Switzerland, reach World Cup last 16. Now the news in detail. Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, on Monday said there were neither silver bullets nor perfect approaches to reform the country's healthcare system. A statement on Monday signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laoluakonde, said the Vice President spoke during the opening of a two-day Presidential Health Reform Committee retreat in Abuja. Osinbajo explained that delivering an efficient health care system would require a multi-sectoral approach across different levels of government and the private sector. He said we must reorganize that and reforms can be complex and the lessons learned are there. No silver bullet and no perfect approaches. This is especially true in huge areas such as health care. What is crucial is that we set the broad parameters and vision for the healthcare system with desire for our people, would adopt a flexible approach that enables us to track and incorporate other reforms initiatives. Moving on to the next story from Insecurity. Chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, weekend said that the success of the security outfit codenamed Amotekun in the region shows that Nigeria's security architecture must be decentralized. Governor Akeredolu noted that the country's security architecture decentralization is for effective security of lives and properties in Nigeria. The governor said these while receiving participants of the Senior Course 45 program of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, on a study tour of the state. The 46-man team was led by the faculty leader, Commodore Promise Dapa. While reiterating the need for state police, the governor said the stand of his administration is that a police command in Abuja cannot serve the nation of 300 million people, I beg your pardon, despite our merged resources. Our administration has recorded remarkable successes in securing the lives and property of the people of the state, as well as in the area of employment generation. The state-owned security agency, the Amotekun Corps, has also been doing wonderfully well. The success of Amotekun Corps in Ondo State in particular and southwest of Nigeria in general underscores the fact that the security architecture of the country must be decentralized for effective security of lives and properties in Nigeria. Moving to the next story. Nasir Kwara, the National Population Commission Executive Chairman, has reaffirmed the agency's commitment to conducting a credible and reliable population and housing census in 2023. Mr. Kwara gave the assurance while declaring open a workshop in Abuja on Monday. Training plan provides a clear understanding of what must happen to meet the training requirements that have been defined. As such, it is important that functionaries, staff, and ad hoc staff are trained in the knowledge and skills required to support their responsibilities, the processes, and technology to be used during the census, he said. The NPC boss explained the importance of training in digital census and said utilizing a digital skilled workforce was imperative. According to him, the workshop's objective was to prepare the top-level trainers for the standardized census training, adequately take and teach the concepts and definitions for the 2023 populations and housing census, provide guidelines for the field and enumerations procedures for the population and housing census, Mr. Kwara noted. Moving on to the next story. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Rrør, has asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to arrest or invite for interrogation the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, over the alleged insertion of over 206 million into the 2023 budget of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. Rrør also cautioned the anti-graft body to avoid naming serving government officials as EFCC ambassadors, saying the agency is not a chieftaincy institution but a serious government establishment set up to wage war against the economy and people against it. National Coordinator Comrade Emmanuel Owubiko, in a statement, rejected the explanation of the Finance Ministry that the bogus amount was wrongfully captured in the budget estimate submitted to the National Assembly, just as it insisted that those in charge must be arrested and made to give proper statements under oath. Rrør said a recent announcement proposing to name Executive Vice Chairman of the National Communications Commission, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, as EFCC ambassador is inappropriate and would suggest that the holder has become a sacred cow. And to the next story as regards banditry. The 20 million naira levy imposed on residents of Gidangoga village in the Maradun local government area of Zamfara state by bandit leader Bello Turji to forestall attacks on the community has been paid. Bello Turji had imposed a levy on the village residents, asking them to pay the money on or before Sunday, November 27th, or face the wrath of the bandit. A source told Daily Post that the bandit threatened to attack the village if the money was not paid at the stipulated time. The source further explained that the money was paid on Sunday, saying that the residents who fled to other places for safety had started returning to the village. He stated, "Many people, including myself, have returned to the village because of the payment of the levy. We paid additional sum of 6 million naira for the release of 5 people abducted by the terrorists who belong to Bello Turji's camp." SP Mohammed Shehu, the state's police public relations officer, could not be reached on his phone for a reaction or to confirm on the matter. And to end the national news is a sports story. A Brazil side lacking spark without the injured Neymar needed a late strike from Casemiro to edge out Switzerland 1-0 on Monday as the 5-time winner secured their place in the World Cup last 16 with 1 game to spare. The Brazilians had been frustrated by an up-the-rate Swiss side at Doha Stadium 9-7-4, and it looked as if they would have to settle for a point after a Vinicius Junior strike in the second half was disallowed for offside following a VAR check. But then, with 7 minutes remaining, Rodrigo flicked the ball onto Casemiro just inside the box, and the Manchester United midfielder's volley flew into the net with the help of a slight but significant deflection of Manuel Akanji. Thus, Tite side are just the second team to qualify for the last 16 after France, and the only side apart from the oldest to have won both group matches so far in Qatar. The first team, and their aim was to qualify. That was really important in a group as difficult as ours, the 30-year-old Casemiro told Brazilian broadcaster Sport TV. That ends the national news. Before we go, some major headlines. No silver bullet to reform health care, says Oshibajo. With Amotek's success, Nigeria must decentralize security architecture, Akeredolu. And on sport, Brazil beats Switzerland, reach World Cup last 16. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagide Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. The acts that would not make many people see you doing is a very bad act. Stop it. My name is Morire Rebila Lawa. Good afternoon.